Hurek can scarcely cope. And so Wittmann now has not got the same crew that he'd had. People like Bobby Voll, who's renowned as his driver. He would then be sent forward, and Wittmann is either engaged by tanks of the Sherbert Fusiliers who are at that farm. You can just see the top of the building over there from his left flank, as it would be, or he's engaged by the tanks of the Northamptonshire Yeomanry over there in the wood line, which is that wood over there. And when I came out here the first time, I didn't know what really to believe, really, and the answer is everything's plausible. What is without question is 4 Tigers were knocked out in this field, of which one of them was the tank of Michael Wittmann. What is absolutely sure, and this is fact, and is that Wittmann's Tiger was blown apart, really. So whatever got in did a serious amount of damage. The RAF laid claim for a bit, and given that nobody knew who Wittmann was anyway, really, at that stage, he's just another German tank commander, then that's something in the rear. But the evidence that's been gathered is that from the photographs and people who know a lot about these things, is that it's unlikely to have been an RAF rocket that did it. It's going to be an armoured piercing round, so therefore it's going to be a Sherman Firefly, whether it was a Canadian one or whether it was a one with the Northamptonshire Yeomanry. I'm afraid we're never going to know the answer to that. But his tank was knocked out, and his crew, the remains of his crew, were buried at the side of the road. And when they built so over the hedge as it is now, and somewhere within 200 or 400 yards of where we stood now, and in 1984, when they built the new road, they discovered the remains of German soldiers buried at the side of the original road, which is what this one is. And Michael Wittmann was identified, and I told you that story the other day when we were at the Calm. His wife still had his dental records, otherwise he would simply be an unbekannter deutscher Soldaten, buried in the German, a German soldier of the 1939-45 war. Now, whether Wittmann was killed by Joe Eakins or the Sherbert Fusiliers depends on which side of the Atlantic you're born, really. And it really comes down to that. And I'm not gonna take it any further, but simply, there he is. That is him, and he met his end in this field. That is beyond doubt. And he now resides in the far corner and the most visited grave in Le Calme Cemetery. Of that, I'm absolutely sure.
Who would have buried him?
Probably the Canadians, or the British or Canadians, because we're really on the boundary now, and again, as I've suggested, it's the military argument is a main boundary road, inclusive or exclusive, and you'll know from staff rides that's an endless argument, and is critical to the army because you then get 2 lots of vehicles on the same road. So the road is inclusive to 4th Canadian Division, or whatever it is, 2nd Canadian Infantry Brigade, and with the 2nd Canadian Armoured Division, or it's exclusive to them and they shouldn't be on it anyway. And arguments go right at the top. I mean, I have been a command operator in a squadron leader's tank, and he's get on me, get on that bloody radio, Sergeant Wood, and tell the CO that B Squadron are on my road. So even at a regimental level, it's inclusive, or the road is inclusive or exclusive, and that becomes important, because you're either responsible for it or it's your highway. And the Canadians, I can't remember, I don't know who it was. To me, it looks like it's inclusive to the Canadians, but only just. So that means that the Jocks have got the Sherwood rate, the Northampton Yeomanry are really firing across their boundary, which can sometimes be a little dangerous. And I say that not in any humour, because knowing where your boundaries are really important. Tell that to Corporal Allwood of the Queen's Royal Lancers in his gunner, who was shot by 2 RTR in the Second Gulf War. But the only thing that knocked out a Challenger 2 was a Challenger 2. And it was a Challenger 2.
Jesus.
And the only reason all 4 of them weren't killed was 2 of them were on the back decks doing some maintenance. and why the army wants to pursue the driver of, or pursued the gunner of 2 RTR and Commander, I have no idea. They're going to live with that for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
They knew who they know exactly know who it was. Yeah. So there you go. So that's it. So it might seem pedantic, but you know, you're there you go. Well, it is. Partly because you've got him.
I know.
Yeah, you've got it. The human body is, as the police officers amongst us and maybe some of the others will know, is a pretty toxic instrument. And you've got to get rid of it for health and safety reasons. I don't mean that in a health and safety stupidity sense. You've got to